Good afternoon, friends. Welcome back to our live video feed on the Purple Mountain. I welcome everybody that is tuning in this afternoon on our fantastic video that we're doing this afternoon on inspiration, poem and writings. Okay, friends, and before we get officially started, I'm just going to wait for some more people to get on our Facebook page. I hope that you're all right and that you're looking after yourselves. And I send you much love from myself and from Chris from the Purple Mountain. I hope that you're all keeping safe and that you are all protecting yourself and your families and doing your part to look after yourselves and, of course, your animals. And I hope that you're all doing okay. Mentally, physically and spiritually. There's lots of ways we can do to look after ourselves to keep our mind busy, but I'd like to start off with a little bit of knowledge again. I feel like I don't mean to, but I feel like sometimes I repeat myself in the things that I say, but my intention is to try to inspire you to make amendments to your health and well-being, and to really look within that reflection. We can all, every single one of us can do better to look after ourselves, and it's a great opportunity, and that's the way I'm looking at this situation in the world. Though it's very negative and there's lots of people that are going back to the spirit world before their time, it's a great opportunity, and it is an opportunity for change, opportunity on the positive, to really look in that mirror, look in that reflection and make personal changes. It's no good trying to attack politicians or attack leaders or attack each other on social media, through journalists and politicians and ministers. We should be all working together and to really take this as an opportunity for us to bring ourselves together for the sisterhood and brotherhood of man. And it's our job, our responsibility as spiritual beings of light to stay positive, to send our love and light. It's not our job and not our responsibility to judge other people what they are or are not doing. People don't like to be told what to do. They don't like to be dictated what they should and shouldn't do. So the best thing we can do is live by example. And I think that's the greatest power that anybody's got, is live by example. People see the changes in you, and then that will spread like a beautiful light that will spread amongst each other. Now often these past few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks since we've been doing these videos on a daily basis, and often I talk about your immune system and ways we can help strengthen our immune system, not just through our diet or through what we eat and drink, but ultimately there are many different ways we can look after our immune system. And by looking after our immune system, the immune system looks after us. So it's about partnerships, not about controlling the body or the body controlling the spirit. Remember, we are a spirit in a physical body, and we use the physical bodies in a way to express our emotions and have those physical experiences here on the earth. So the body is thy temple, and that's something that I teach here at the White Church Lodge at the Healing Clinic. We do many different courses and workshops, lots of different healing treatments, helping with lots of various different conditions, if it's on the spiritual side, the mental side or physical side. And that's what we do here at the White Church Lodge, is try to inspire people. You can't dictate to people, because people will then do the opposite. You've got to try to inspire them to help themselves. Ultimately, as a healing therapist, you're not actually really healing the patient. What you're doing, you are teaching the patient to heal themselves. And if you can get your head around that. So these past few weeks I've been talking a lot about your immune system, and today, before we get started with the inspirational poem writings, I'm going to tell you about things that can lower your immune system. So before I was talking about things that can help your immune system, I'm now going to mention various different things that can lower your immune system, that can affect the overall optimum health of the physical body. Now, I want to say that I'm not here to judge anybody on a personal note. I can relate to a lot of these things because I used to smoke, I used to drink, and until I learned those lessons, until I accepted that those things were harming my overall physical body, my lungs, my heart, no matter what somebody told me, I would never listen. I said, well, I enjoy smoking, I enjoy drinking, and I've come a long way. So it is a battle, it is a journey, and ultimately, do you want to live or do you want to die? It's very simple. It's very, very simple. I'd like to mention as well that we'll begin now by just mentioning 7 or 8 things that can harm your physical body. Things that we all do, and one of them is through smoking. Another thing is through the intake of alcohol. Actually, in my personal opinion, alcohol actually does more damage than actually smoking, and actually more people have got probably an addiction to alcohol than to smoking, and it can greatly lower your immune system. On a spiritual sense, it can actually lower your spiritual light. So of course, a lot of people use drink as a crutch, as a way to cope with mental health issues, physical issues, but alcohol is not the way. Alcohol can lower the light, can damage vital organs such as liver, particular excessive drinking. It can damage the liver and the pancreas and the stomach, and smoking also damages the lungs. So anything that will compromise the health of the physical body, we can't be ignorant. It is very, very simple. If we don't look after the body won't look after ourselves. We know that when we sleep, the body will heal itself, an opportunity to reset the body clock, heal itself, clear the body of toxins. But ultimately, during the day, the body is fighting infection, it fights viruses, even without us consciously knowing about it. The body is healing itself. If we cut ourselves, we know that the skin will eventually heal. So we know on the surface, if we damage the skin, we know it heals. Eventually the skin will heal, that scar will appear, just to show us that's where the damage was. Now ultimately inside us, we've got to give the body opportunity, and if we smoke and we drink, that will hinder the overall health and well-being. It will stop the T cells and other cells, the immune system, the white blood cells, to fight things like infection. And something that we taught very, very long time ago, just imagine your home, your house, your physical body being like a home, and the doors and the windows, and is ultimately you are protecting your defences. And this is what often we talk about prevention rather than the cure. So it's about preventing the illness from occurring. So people, it's almost like saying, people say, well, I've caught a cold from you. I used to say that. I used to say, well, I've caught a cold from you. And that's wrong, because I've allowed that virus to enter the physical body because of my immune system that has been lowered. I've allowed my defences to be lowered, so I've done that to myself. So we talk about smoking, drinking. Another quite controversial topic is sugar, and things like fizzy pop. Contains caffeine and sugar, which actually dehydrates the physical body. It doesn't actually quench the thirst. It doesn't actually hydrate the physical body. God knows how many other chemicals are actually within fizzy pops that actually damages vital organs, damages the pancreas and vital organs that regulate sugars and so forth in the physical body. Another thing that we try to teach here at the White Turtle Lodge is a plant-based diet, which means just try to stay away from saturated fats, cream, dairy, also processed meat, also extremely can be, with its saturated fats, can clog up the gallbladder, can block up the liver, the kidneys, so anything that's going to strain the physical body. So really, you've got to eat lots of this. This is why I keep saying eat lots of vegetables, eat lots of fruit, have herbal teas, drink lots of water. But today we're just talking about things that can lower your immune system. Somebody that doesn't exercise, so if you do no exercise whatsoever, and the lack of movement, the lack of chi, things what we call stagnation, which the stagnance of energy is that the muscles become lazy and the body says, well, what have I got to, why do I need to work? And it becomes lazy. So it's about programming and conditioning the physical body. So a lack of exercise hinders the immune system. Also, being overweight also greatly diminishes your ability to fight infection, your immune system, and it's proven in its current data and research with the coronavirus that a lot of people that have unfortunately died, not all, a majority of people that died have had either diabetes, blood pressure, or a lot of underlying health conditions. Those underlying health conditions, a lot, I know it's very controversial about saying this, are not inheritary. It's something that we've done to our physical body. I'm a firm believer that diabetes is not inheritary. It's 99.9% of diabetes is caused by excessive eating, saturated fat, sugars that have damaged the pancreas and its ability. So already we are destroying our ability. When we're younger, we're all right because we feel we're invincible, our immune system is strong. But if we can sort of try to program ourselves when we're younger, look after yourselves, protect yourselves, so when we do get older, the immune system stays strong. And having too much weight not only affects the stomach, it affects the pancreas. It does tremendous amount of pressure in the back, and unfortunately as a society we have gone bigger, and a lot of people don't want to talk about the correlation between diabetes, being overweight, oversized, to the food that we eat, the diet that we eat, the takeaways that we eat, the fizzy pop, the alcohol, the smoking. And people might say, well, we do live longer, but at what cost? People are on more medication now. People are more overweight now. Yes, we're living longer, but at what cost? Really, at what cost? How comfortable are people? There's more people having cancer now than ever before. And they say it's 1 in 2 people now. 1 in 2 people in their lifetime will have cancer. Now, 25, 30 years ago, it used to be 1 in 25. Why aren't people talking about the correlation? People talk about the cure for cancer, but ultimately the cure for cancer is by starting in the beginning and to look after yourselves, to eat correctly, to stay away from man-made processed foods, saturated fat, smoke and alcohol, sugar. So we're giving the body a fighting chance, so that when we are faced with things like pandemics and viruses, we are giving it 50% or 60% or 30% chance of survival. Another thing that can lower our immune system is a lack of sleep, not switching off our mind. And it's one of the biggest things we try to treat here at the White Turtle Lodge is the lack of sleep. So many people I know suffer from sleeping problems, and we can prescribe sleep tonics and herbal medicines and nutrition and dietitian and things like that that can help you on the physical, but a lot of it, in my opinion, is to do with the mind. It's about to do with the conscious and subconscious mind, what the Chinese call Shen, the spirit still resides within the mind and you can't switch off. And we do live in a very fast society now where we're overthinking, we're more stressed, we worry about a lot of things, about money, finances, about getting mortgages, getting in debt. We put ourselves, and we're feeding what I call this illusion, this cycle. We're getting into this rabbit hole, we're getting forced, and we give up our power, and we're forced, and it will affect our sleep. It will affect our sleep, and if we can't sleep, that lowers the immune system. It's very, 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 very simple. And it's about things like meditation, Kaihana, yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, all these things that will help you on the spiritual. And that's why we teach here, combining physical healing and spiritual healing, because it's about working in union, so you can't work one without the other. We often talk about chronic stress. Chronic stress is a little bit different to normal stress. Chronic stress is prolonged stress. You know, you might be stressed for many weeks, many months, and you've got to stop yourself. Why am I feeling the way I am at this moment in time? Why am I stressed? We don't seem to stop and stop and look in that mirror and say, hang on here, why am I feeling in this way? And this is about self-realization, self-awareness. It's about sensing, and this is why meditation is so key, because it will slow your mind, it will slow your thoughts, and collectively it will bring that alignment back and say, this is what you're doing to the body. And it's about listening to the body. It's not about controlling the body, it's about listening to the body. And chronic stress greatly hinders and affects the nervous system, which then in essence will affect the immune system. So do things that will help you calm the heart rate, calm your blood pressure, helps your kidneys, helps the heart, the liver. So if you look after the body looks after you. Poor nutrition, as I've mentioned before, you know, when we try to inspire people to do with diet, I don't like using the word diet, because I feel that if you eat a balanced diet, I'm using the word again, if you eat a balanced diet, then that's fine. A lot of people say, well, this diet is right for me. Well, every diet that is out there might not work with everybody, and I think you just got to choose something that works for you. But sometimes people can go from one extreme to the other, and I think on the nutritional side, minerals are, in my opinion, probably more important than vitamins. And really, there's been this culture about vitamins, and actually we're trying to move away from that and actually try to educate people about the importance of minerals. Minerals play a very important role, and sometimes our body can't keep those minerals or vitamins within our body. We've got to keep taking them, and there's no good eating rubbish and eating processed food and drinking smoke and then still taking herbal medicine. Well, again, everything in balance. You know, it's wrong to say to people, why do that way? When people come here to the healing clinic and we might sort somebody's knee out, and we'll say, well, how's this been caused? We can fix the knee, we can help massage it and use some cups or do some moxibustion or some acupuncture. And then the patient will go back and they'll do exactly the same what they did before. And it's trying to, you break a bone or you do damage to the body, it's very difficult. You can heal it, but that organ, that body will never be the same again. So please be vigilant about that. And I'm just going to mention one other thing as well about poor hygiene. It's about cleaning, ensuring your environment's nice and clean, sanitised, and you clean, you tidy, your personal hygiene is good. So it's about looking after yourself on the physical sense, and if you look after yourself, the body will look after you. So I'm going to stop waffling now, but I hope that I've inspired you with some words of wisdom, if that makes sense. So a lot of these things we talk about, we teach here within Kaihana and Mahana. That's what we teach here at the White Turtle Lodge. We teach Mahana and Kaihana, and at the White Turtle Lodge we've got a healing clinic here, and we teach, we inspire. We don't push the knowledge on people, because they've just got to, you try to inspire them, they will listen, they'll take what they need and they'll take it away, and that's all you can do. So we will begin, and I've chosen a couple of poems and a couple of writings, and then I'll pass on to Chris, and he's chosen some lovely poems and writings as well. We've done one of these before with great success. I think they're fantastic, and it's again trying to guide people that anybody can do poems and inspirational writings. It's about meditating, it's about getting in the zone. It's a great opportunity for you in your study, if you've got a lot of sanctuary at home, when the kids are in bed, get your pen and paper, and it's a great way to really express the spirit. It's a great way to talk about your experience, and in essence it can help and guide other people. We know this, it can happen because books, the way books and magazines and poem books and study books. So I've chosen the first poem, and I did this poem because of a personal experience of mine. And we all, as the human race, we all have to learn the hard way, and I've had to learn the hard way. And it's about friendships, and it's called For a Reason Unknown. And I wrote this, and I was inspired to write it because I felt, I came to understand that people come in your lives and then they go out. And I used to invest so much of my time and energy in people, and I used to be so disappointed and downhearted when people I felt could have let me down. But in essence, I've come to understand they don't let me down, they let themselves down. And I've came to understand at that point, I've learned a valuable lesson that I shouldn't be downhearted. That people come in your life and come out of your life, and you just send them your love. And it's very funny sometimes when people come out of your life and then they go back into your life 20 years later, and we're just there to learn from each other. So let me read out the poem for you. Who are you, and why have you come my way? Has heaven sent you to help and guide me on this day? Will you become my best friend, or just a friend brushing by? Or will you be a friend who will make me cry? Sometimes others are put in my pathway for reasons unknown, until I came to realise that our friendship has grown. Sharing great adventures and stories to unfold, beyond simple photographs, memories are told. I know accidents don't happen, for God always has a plan, that life's journey, like all, are interwoven with man. Some friends have been a blessing, and I have thanked them for this. Others have hurt me too, and my heart had fallen in the abyss. Some have brought me great joy and lots of laughter too. Some have said awful and hurtful things that were not true. But why has God sent these unkindly folk to me? Or am I there to help and guide them and set their anger free? God said to me, don't be downhearted and give up on hope, for he will guide me and give me strength and help me to cope, so I may understand the reasons why, that some friends are for keeps and others a goodbye. And I hope you enjoyed that writing. I'm now going to move on to a little bit of a longer writing, and it's called Climbing Mountains. And I wrote this, I think, about 7 years ago through a circle task that we did, that we were given certain words, and we had to sort of do a writing on that particular word through our own personal experience. And a lot of it is to do with symbolism. It's about your life's journey, and it's called Climbing Mountains. The climb is a representation of a journey of 1,000 miles and 1,000 footprints made. Rather than trying to reach the top as fast as you can, recognise that the journey itself is more important than its goal. The mountain can be a very dangerous place, filled with quests and obstacles, trials that even test the strongest, purest and brightest spirit. We don't all climb the mountain at the same place, all start at the same path, because we have all returned, we have all reincarnated to this lifetime for different reasons. Some will climb the mountain using an easier route. Others will use a more difficult route. Some will even try and use ladders to climb the mountain. But in essence, we all use different tools and skills. We think best to climb and conquer the mountain and try to reach to the top. We may only get halfway in this lifetime, but as we continue to return and learn and progress, we step even closer, reaching to our goals. We must take this journey on our own, walking the path and climbing the mountain as best as we possibly can. There will be times when we must rest. There will be times when we feel like giving up and surrendering. Time of loneliness, a time of little hope. Sometimes there will be times when you will slip, stumble and fall. But because you are not only one climbing this mountain, some others will step forward who will be willing to reach out and help you and guide you upon this journey. The mountain provides some of the harshest weather conditions on this planet. The mountain will test us in many different ways. We can either accept the trials or reject them. But as we conquer these hurdles, we become stronger. And with this strength, we see that the journey ahead gets a little easier. The mountain also provides us with many symbolic interpretations. As we walk and climb the mountain, we see even life flourishing and growing. Tiny flowers even grow up here, giving us all that are aware and willing to see a glimmer of hope and colour. If you are lucky, we're able to see tiny trees, seedlings growing, a symbol that as you climb higher, you are growing too. Some animals live here, some kind and harmless and other dangerous that will eat and attack you. The mountain also provides us with breathtaking views. Here you are able to see the valleys and the entire world brushing by, flying like the eagle. As you climb, you will become more aware of your life and all the many memories you have gained. The climb is not meant to be easy, it's meant to test us. Sometimes a mist will draw over your path from the mountainsides, and if you're not careful, you will lose your way. But then, when all hope is lost, rays of sunshine gives us hope and clears the mist away. The mountain also provides us with all the food and water we need for our journey. It rains and gives us water. The wind brings up the valley seeds and nutrients, all important for our bodies to survive. Sometimes I begin to think that the mountain is alive. Sometimes the mountain can get angry and spits out fire and smoke. But as the lava flows by, there is always another path to follow. It is important not to try and move large rocks and make room for your path and journey. Moving rocks and stones to another path will only block others who walk close by. Moving rocks and stones can cause the foundations and parts of the mountains to collapse. Many mountain climbers have made signs to give people a little hope where they are if they are lost. Not all signs are easily to read. Some are covered by time and others have been deliberately taken away. This is the battle between light and dark. As you continue to climb the mountain, you will need time to rest. Rest and reflect is important. So is going over the map in which you try to follow and you realise that there are so many different routes to take. You can get overwhelmed. Like the weather, there are good sunny days and there are rainy days. There may be days when things are unclear like the mist, and there will be days when you are angry and frustrated like the thunder and lightning. As you climb higher and higher into the mountain, and as you grow older, things begin to feel even more difficult. Physically, you're getting tired and weak, but somehow you fight on. Again, continuing climbing higher and higher. The air begins to feel thinner and your breathings become heavier, but you continue as if something compels you to move on. As you watch over to the sides, you see so many people climbing. Some you know, others you do not. Some have fallen, some have given up, some have raced ahead, others are still far below. But be patient. But remember, this is not a race. Some professional climbers with much knowledge take off their tools, ropes and other climbing gear, for they have lost their fear. But is this wise? Or have they the courage and faith that they will not fall? Maybe all along they have known deep inside that spirit will be by their side. In reflection, many climbers wonder how they've managed to overcome the climb, and as they glance down they realise how far they really have come. And sometimes you must look behind your shoulders and see how far you have come. It is like walking backwards. And would you want to miss this beautiful views high above? Here on the mountaintop, you are able to send your prayers for all those that are taking their first step into the unknown, as you did all those times ago. Be humble by your journey and always move forward. So that's my little poem, little writing that I did on the mountain. I'm now going to move on to another writing that I did, and it's called Live the Practice. And it says, don't tell me, show me. And it's something that actually Chris inspired me with these words of wisdom. And he often says, well, a lot of people are great at giving advice, but if you're willing to give advice, well, live the practice. And hopefully that you all understand the meaning of this writing. The medicine has taught me that words are empty. Words without true intent are simply washed away and forgotten. They carry no roots or have no meaning. We can say we love each other, but do we really mean it? We can say we will be there for someone, but are we really there? We can say we care about the world, but do we really care? Words are silent, and without the true expression of the Spirit, we become prey to the idea of words, and with this carries no foundations. It is only through actions do we begin living. We begin truly expressing our ideas, our ideals, and our dreams and visions. We must live, and by living we begin experiencing all the world has to offer. The earth plane is a wondrous playground of learning, and we must embrace every single moment. We must reach out with open arms without fear, without failure, or without judgment. We must do our best every day and live every day as if it is our last upon the earth plane. Sometimes we fall prey to judgment and failure and take too much heed to what other people may think of us. It is, however, important to listen and take advice, but always trust in your own intuition. Always be guided by your own internal compass, but don't be dictated of how to live your life and how not to live your life. There is so wonderful abundance of knowledge and experience embedded within us all, is simulated by many reincarnations. So why not use it? Apply what you have learned, and don't be afraid to apply it. Apply your wisdom to furthering your progression, your learning and evolution. Build upon your learning. Sometimes people will tell you what they want you to hear. They will lie to you, hurt you, and try and instill fear and pain upon you. Don't fall prey to their hurt and pain. Trust in your spiritual intuition. It will guide you well. Look for the signs and trust in the energies that are around you. If something doesn't feel right, it's most likely it isn't. When someone tries to hurt you or say unkind words about you, don't take it to heart. Don't take it personally. It's their pain that they are expressing, not yours. They are only expressing their hurt. Send out your love and keep your boundaries. Remember, walking away is not a weakness, and sometimes people need to walk away to find themselves again. Remember, time is the biggest healer. We all know that living upon the earth plane brings many challenges to the spirit. The earth plane is filled with many temptations, and many bright spirits fall prey to them. Every day can be a battle. Every day can be a struggle, but it doesn't have to be. Use your spiritual knowledge and wisdom and apply it to your physical life. Apply the guidance. Apply the practices you have learned. Apply the messages you have received from mediums and guides and loved ones, and use it to yourself. You can read many books and listen to many spiritual teachers who all guide and inspire us. But if we don't apply those teachings, we fall dumb to that learning. We begin shackling ourselves to the idea of living, but we forget to live. We often like the idea of being spiritual, but don't actually do anything to express our spirituality. Even the brightest light within us illuminates, yet so many don't shine their beautiful lights. Life is about having those experiences and living the practice. We must use and adapt the best practices that is suitable for our everyday living. Not all practices, of course, are suitable for all. We must choose the right practice that dictates our own individuality. Remember, we are all on our own individual pathway. The most powerful thing anyone can do in their pathway of spirituality is lead by example. Let people see the changes in you, the light and the truth that you admit. Let the truth and let the light and truth within you be a compass to others. May you stand strong in your truth and practice your spirituality every day. Go for healing, and going to church or spiritual sanctuary once a week will not fill your heart, nor will it further your progression. You must take what you have learned and practice it in everyday life. Apply it and use it in every moment. Spiritual sanctuaries, spiritual healers and teachers can only inspire you and guide you, but they cannot further your progression. They can help, they can assist, but they cannot do the work for you. There have been many teachers who say that we have a physical life and a spiritual life, but this is wrong. There's only one life, one pathway we walk upon, and that is the life of progression. Both the physical and the spiritual are intertwined in one existence. It is in those experiences that helps our spirits to grow. Wherever we are and whoever we are learning, we are living and experiencing. We don't become spirit when we die. We are already spirit. Live the practice, my friends, and shine your light for all the world to see. Hope you enjoyed that one. I'm just going to read out my last one now, which is a bit of a shorter one, and it's called The Butterfly. I hope you all enjoy. Please comment on our Facebook wall to see which one has been your favourite, which one that you've enjoyed the most. I'm just going to read my last one, and I did this actually. It was one of my very first poems that I ever did when I started the spiritual work, and it's about the butterfly. It's like a poem story, and I hope that you will enjoy it. And it's called The Butterfly. I am a spirit of beauty, a spirit of kindness and a spirit of colour. I often roam silently across meadows and forests alike, searching for beauty that I see within all mankind. I am a spirit of transformation, from egg to caterpillar to pupa to butterfly. I am a representation of spiritual growth and spiritual awakening. Long ago, as a light made me so, I entered the world as an egg attached to a leafy branch. As I lay silently waiting for my time to come, I wandered patiently for the Great Spirit to set me free. As I hatched away from my protection my mother gave, I began my journey as a caterpillar, and the Great Spirit said that I must be brave. I have now become a caterpillar of strength, a reminder that change is on its way. This is the time, said the Great Spirit, a time of learning and reflection, So take one step day by day. As I began to spin, I wrapped myself in a cocoon. This was a time of healing, a time of getting in touch of my higher self. As I lay high above in silence and transformation, I became at peace with myself. Now that I lay deep within, I have left all things old behind. This was a time of new beginnings, and the Spirit was so kind. The Great Spirit said that I must be brave and trust and embrace it all to come. Never forget, said the Great Spirit, where you have come from. So as I silently waiting to break free, I began to break away all my fears and allow the entire world to see. I am now transformed of who I was meant to be, nothing holding me back, and I wish only to set the world free. The Great Spirit said that I have much work to do. You have returned to give mankind a little hope, and this is what I knew. So as I began to take my flight, I raised my wings and flew high into the sky. And as I silently entered man's world, I only saw pain and suffering, and I asked the Great Spirit why. The Great Spirit replied with a gentle voice, this is why you have returned, and mankind has much more to learn. Sometimes, my gentle butterfly, all spirits need a helping hand. Not long ago I helped and guided you too, and this is what I planned. So my beautiful butterfly, as I let you go, show the entire world and allow your light to glow. So I hope you've enjoyed that beautiful writing that I did about 10 years ago on the beautiful butterfly. I'm now going to pass on, so keep commenting if you can please, friends, and let us know what you think about some of our poems and writings. I'm now going to pass on to our good friend, good brother, Chris. Okay, thank you. Ooh.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the afternoon so far. So I'm going to continue on. I have a writing that I've chosen, which I was inspired to write. I think it was quite some time ago, but I just found it this morning. So all things for a reason, and it's called Walking Alone. And it's a bit different, this writing. It's a little bit like a poem, but it's done in a form of a conversation. So the first line being somebody speaking, and then it's really, my interpretation will be their guide or inspiring that's replying back to them on the second line. Yeah. So I hope you enjoy this one, called Walking Alone. There were times I felt I was walking alone. You were never alone, my friend. I was always there to bring my love and strength and show that I cared. There were times I cried in pain, not knowing where to go or who to blame. I caught your tears, my friend, in your time of pain, and I brought you comfort to see out the rain. I listened to music which brought joy and peace. I brought you music, my friend, for joy and peace, and to take your love and to let it be released. I laughed alone and lifted my light. I laughed with you, my friend, as you lifted your light, and I watched your strength grow as you began to fight. I thought alone about the truths of the world. I helped you, my friend, in seeking your truths. I realised I was never alone when you called my name. I knew that I would never feel alone again. You are never alone, it's only a choice. I'm always there, you only have to listen for my voice. I will never be there to place any blame, only to bring you love, guidance and peace. Never walk alone, you always walk in peace. Thank you. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that one. Stephen misbehaving a bit on the camera as well. We like to have fun as well. We've got to keep things light.
Everyone's
Okay.
saying hi, Chris.
Yes.
Your mum's saying spreading the love.
Oh yes, that's good. Got to keep spreading the love. So I hope you enjoyed that one, especially if you're feeling at this time a little bit alone. Just remember, you're not. 100% you're not. Okay, I can promise you that there is somebody there. But what we tend to do when we feel a bit of loneliness or isolation is we start building walls ourselves, and all those walls do is they just put a wall up to that love that is always around us. It's always there. Some people might say, "Oh, my guide's not there today." I can guarantee if they weren't around, you would feel the difference. That's the feeling. So just remember that a lot of feelings we get of that loneliness we're placing there quite often ourselves. So I hope you enjoyed that. There's somebody for everyone. Now this one is called Trust in Strength, and it's by a teacher of ours within the spirit world called Little Raven. And those who visit the Purple Mountain might be aware of Little Raven and his many teachings. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Many of our family, your guides, your inspirers, your loved ones are stood by your side to give you all strength and hope. But I wish to tell you all upon a story, if I am permitted, my friends. Much time has passed now, and as time sweeps through like the wind, it washes away and ages us all, withering away the old to bring in the new. But what shall always remain is the teachings and philosophies, the love and the light that burns within our spirits. That the walls of this teepee, the Purple Mountain, or indeed your homes, the walls one day will crumble away, the windows will shatter, the roof of this sanctuary will be washed away by the rain and the earth. Your physical bodies one day, my friend, will wither and return to the earth. All material things that you think are important to you will break. They will fall apart. They will be thrown away. Then what truly matters, my friends? Do the walls of this Purple Mountain or indeed your home matter? Does the gold that you buy, do these things bring your spirit happiness? The answer is no, my friends. When there is no more, what will the legacy that you have left behind be? Who will you have helped and guided and loved and protected? What were your acts of true compassion? The acts of knowing that you have made a true difference to this world, that you have left behind more love and light than was there before your reincarnation. Then, my friends, you have won the battle against darkness and despair. It does not bring happiness or joy to your spirit in what you wear, what you look like physically, what home you live in. It is in the service of others that teaches your spirit of hope, kindness and compassion. When everything that you see around you will cease no more, there is no room for material things in your spirit, for your spirit is true love. It is filled with light, love and truth, that material things will not feed this within your spirit. It is acts of compassion, acts of love, that feed and nurture your spirit light, which is within you now. Long ago, my friends, my grandfather told me this story, and when I lost hope, when I lost despair, when my son was murdered by the white man, I allowed anger to guide me. But did it feed my spirit, my friends? Yes, it darkened my heart, and it allowed anger, hurt and pain and suffering to guide my physical and spiritual life. I was covered with hatred and pain, and in this single moment my grandfather's story returned to my spirit. There lived a brave and mighty warrior. He was strong and he was wise and he was loving. He was kind and brave. He was a bright spirit returned to the earth plane to bring the Indian people together again. As he rode upon his horse, he rode from one village to another, from one tribe to another, sharing teachings of the Great Spirit in hope of inspiring the people of the earth plane, so the Indian people could put down their weapons. As he rode through the desert to reach other tribes, his spirit began to feel weak. He started to question the Great Spirit. He was losing hope because no one was willing to listen in the philosophies and teachings from the spirit world. Darkness had set in and the moon rose. He lay sleeping quietly. As the fire raged through the night to warm his spirit, a snake came and bit him on his leg. He awoke quickly and threw the snake into the fire. He knew that he could not reach a medicine man for help or guidance. He felt he was surrounded by despair, by hopelessness. He thought, why is the Great Spirit punished me? And poison flowed through his veins. He could no longer keep his eyes open. He lay asleep and in pain and in anguish as he was suffering. His spirit rose from his body, and his spirit guide and the spirit of the snake came to him. He said, I cannot fight anymore. And his spirit guide spoke to him. You have chose my son. He said to his friend, you can decide if you wish to stay and fight, or you can return home to the spirit world now. Think upon these words, the spirit guide said. As the poison flowed to his heart, he felt even more pain. How can I live on? I cannot live anymore. I want to give up. I want to surrender. As he was about to leave his physical body, the spirit of the snake came to him. You are a brave warrior, my son, the snake said, but you have work to do. If you return back home to the spirit world now, you will have to try even harder next time. But if you stay and return to your body, you will face even more obstacles on your journey. It will not be easy. It will be even harder. And he thought upon these words. He listened to the snake. And as he awoke from his sleep, he woke with a passion within his spirit, and he rode upon his horse even stronger, that nothing or no one was going to stop him now. Not even the poison, the fear of dying was not going to stop his determination. And my grandfather said, little raven, you will face uncertain moments where you will wish to give up and say no more. But you will be stronger than you may believe. The spirit world will guide you and bring man together again. These are my words, and I hope that you will think upon them greatly, my beautiful friends. So I hope you've enjoyed that wonderful story, bit of philosophy there, and I feel that's very relevant, because many times we want to give up and we wonder why things are brought to us in our path, but everything is brought to us for a reason, and not much is easy, but it brings the great reward, and the reward's peace, love, harmony, and I don't think there's many people in this world who don't want that. In this world, you know, we all want to live in a world of peace and harmony, so just remember that it's always that little bit darker, just as we're having a bit of a breakthrough. There's always two sides, and keeping positive and keeping our lights bright and keep riding to the light as strong as you can. So many blessings to Little Raven for that wonderful philosophy. I hope you've enjoyed this afternoon, friends. This little video once again, myself and Stephen have put together with a lot of guidance from the spirit world. Whatever you're choosing to do with the rest of your day, I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope everybody's staying safe and certainly anybody who watching this video is feeling unwell, we send you lots of love and healing always from all of us at the Purple Mountain. Tomorrow afternoon, which is, what day is it tomorrow, Stephen?
Wednesday, is it, tomorrow?
It's Wednesday tomorrow. Completely lost track. Wednesday, so we're going to be doing Kaihana exercises, and that'll be followed by a guided meditation as well.
So what kind of meditation are you going to be doing, Chris?
I'm waiting to hear instruction from above. Okay, so whatever you're choosing to do, everybody, stay safe, keep washing your hands, and look after yourselves, and lots of love from all of us. Bye-bye.